Hi guys, it's Chris, back in my cider shed with another cider to try, and I've gone for a thicker knit, heavier knitwear again, because despite it being sunny in spring, it's very cold. C'est très froid et c'est très kalt. It's very cold. So yeah, gone for a heavier knit for those who are interested in my knitwear. So that's for you guys. For the rest of you, let's talk about cider. We have an English cider. It's East Coast, so Kentish cider. So we're going for a Kentish cider. In the last episode, we tried a blend of dessert apples with cider apples. Two different bottles we had. One from Ross and Y / Nightingales in Kent. We had one from Pilton in Somerset. This one is from Kent. It is made with 100% Kentish apples. Therefore, it'll be culinary / dessert apples. And there it is, Turner's. I do like these labels. I mean, it says, it's like, you know, it says on the box what it is. It's fantastic. Turner's from Marden in Kent. Made with 100% Kentish apples, contains sulphite, specified C and cap. So this is a family operation. Don't think it's been going for that long, a few years. All aged in steel. Probably all force carbonated. Looks like it's filtered. And my guess is it's going to be a wine yeast. Now, I think people making cider with culinary apples often use wine yeasts because what it tends to do is bring out the expression of the fruit. That's why winemakers use it, because they want to bring out the expression of the fruit. But, the one we had yesterday from Ross and Y / Nightingales, the Nightingales had fermented a Bramley with a wild ferment. And I couldn't tell exactly what flavour was coming from what, but it had a massively interesting sort of lambic beer character, which I really liked. So I'm not sure if that was partially to do with the blend with the Dabonet and the Kentucky, bourbon barrels, but maybe something to do with the wild yeast and the Bramley as well. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. And if that's the case, I'd like to try more of that because that was really interesting, I thought. But let's stick to the Turners today. Let's give it a go. Do all sorts of things. I do fruit ciders as well, which I'm less interested in, to be honest. I like my apple ciders. I'm a bit of a purist. You may have noticed, a bit of a purist, but, I'm not going to apologise for that. For me, it's all about cider, and everything else is like, is on the perimeter. It's not quite as interesting to me. Pop. So let's see how fizzy this is. It is not too bad. So it's force carbonated. I think it may be non-sympathetic. I think it's important. I'd rather have less carbonation than too much carbonation, as I say all the time. Let's have a look. So yeah, as per usual with these sort of culinary style apples, very low tannins, and the tannins are what oxidise and give you the sort of the dark amber colour. So this has very little amber colour because it's got very little tannin in, I would have thought. Also, they're probably not exposing it much to the air, putting it in steel, etc. I'm assuming it's a cultured yeast, fast fermentation, blah blah blah. Let's smell it. I want to like this. I want to like East Coast cider. It just doesn't excite me. I think one of the reasons why it doesn't excite me so much is because commercial ciders tend to use culinary apples, dessert apples. So I associate the flavour more with industrial ciders, which is unfair. It's a prejudice of mine, and it is a prejudice, I admit it, and I'm trying to get over my prejudices, Yeah, so I want to like this. But let's see what happens. Let's smell it. Very delicate apple smell, quite a sort of balance between sweetness and acidity, I want to say, in the nose. When you can't smell sweet, but there's almost like a smoky element to this as well, I want to say. Yeah, there's a hint of sort of smokiness in there, which is actually quite pleasant. It's sweet. It smells like kind of like, I don't know, John O'Gold, something which has got a bit of acidity and a bit of sugar as well. That's what I want to say. Like Golden Delicious maybe as well. I don't know. John O'Gold is Jonathan, which is quite acid, blended with Golden Delicious, which is quite sweet in it. So it's got sweet and acid. So let's say John O'Gold, shall we? Yes, Chris. Okay. Yeah, nice appley thing, but there's a hint of smokiness, which I have to say is appealing. It is appealing. So let's try it. So this will be back sweetened. It says medium dry. For me, it's on the sweeter end of medium dry. Not too sweet though. Not too sweet. It's not cloyingly sweet. Not sure what they will be back sweetening, I'm sure. I'm not sure what they're back sweetening with, whether they're using sugar or like sucralose or something non-fermentable, or like sugar and then pasteurising. Don't know. But having said that, it's quite sympathetically done, and it's not too sweet actually. It's a decent sweetness. That it feels quite natural. Bubbles pretty fine. It's quite fizzy. It's pretty cold, so it will change as it warms up, I'm sure. And as always, if I notice anything that I didn't notice when I first opened it, I'll post it here. Because when you first open things, often you don't get the most out of them. The oxygen get in, get some temperature into it, then it starts to develop. But I can't sit here for like half an hour waiting for it to develop, because that'd be like you guys watching paint dry. Even more so. Bubbles are quite fine, not too bad. Not too bad. Any more would be too much for me. And it has almost like a honeydew melon character. Cantaloupe sort of character, subtly. There's an apple character there as well. It's not super acid or malic, but there's acidity there. But it's not like, mouth-puckeringly acid. It's alright, actually. It's alright. It's alright. It doesn't taste like a mass-produced cider, this. It has character. That slight smoky thing on the nose I find intriguing. You know what? If you like appley ciders, I think this ain't a bad example. When I say appley cider, it sounds weird. But what I mean by like that is ciders that taste like dessert apples, eating apples. That's the sort of thing. Because most cider apple varieties don't produce ciders that just taste like eating apples. They've got like tannin and other things going on, and it's like a darker, richer, leathery, there's other things going on. It's more like a baked apple or an aged apple kind of character you get. This is like a fresher apple, but it tastes ripe. It tastes ripe, but it doesn't taste like a Granny Smith. It's got a softness to it, a roundness to it. There's a smoky element I really like, that melon, slight subtle melon character I like. So yeah, you know what? That's pretty good. That is not bad at all. I think for me to say that about East Coast cider, which I don't do. I say East Coast, they're not East Coast, but I always think of like the east side of the country. That's my terminology. Disregard it if you want. But the sort of Kent, Suffolk kind of style of cider making. This is actually quite delicate. It's very pleasant. It doesn't feel like 6.5%. So if you really want to get drunk but don't feel like you're getting drunk, get some of this or vodka, whichever. All right, guys, that was good. I'm going to pour some more out, in fact. So there we have it, an East Coast cider that I find pleasant, in fact. And that's high praise from me. It really is. It's not like the coining at all, but that's some like darkness, leatheriness. That almost had like a pithy, bitter character to it, which almost it felt almost like leatheriness from a tannin, like a hard tannin. And I think that's what made it great and made it balanced. This doesn't have that, but however, that slight smokiness, it brings somebody to the party, which makes it very drinkable indeed. So there you go, guys. Turner's medium dry from Kent. Why not try it? I think you should. So as always, thank you for joining me in my shed. I hope you join me again at some point, but until then, cheers.